So what is going on, guys? How have you been? I know it's been forever since I've made a video, but I've been pretty busy, guys. Been pretty busy. I have been playing a little bit more over the past few days, trying to get my shot back, and I think I'm getting close to having it back once again, back to where it was, but I'm not quite there. I still a little choppy in some spots, but oh, what the world? We'll get there before you know it. The reason I have been so inactive and haven't been able to play for 2 months is because I'm in school, guys. You guys know I'm in school, been in college. This is actually my 4th year, and I got some good news about that because what I was going to school for was industrial engineering, which is a pretty extensive major. You know, you have a lot of math and physics that you have to do, and it's like a constant constant work, which I mean, like any degree is going to be constant work. Whatever you're going for, whatever your major is, you're going to have to work and earn it and all that. But for some reason, as I continued to go through with my industrial engineering stuff, did not enjoy it as much as I continued to study and move on in the program and stuff. I just, for some reason, lost interest completely, basically. Oh, that should have been a kill. But yeah, pretty much lost interest completely in what I was majoring in, and that's a big deal because if you're not interested in what you're going to be doing as your job, you kind of have to think about that and figure out, is this really something I want to do? And that's what kind of hit me around this time last year. I kind of asked myself, is this something I really truly want to do? And I knew it wasn't something that I wanted to do, so I was going to change my major last year, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to change my major to, so I was kind of weighing my options a little bit for trying to figure out what I could do and all of that. So I was taking a speech class, you have to take speech in college and all of that. And my professor actually told me that he was like, you have a pretty good voice, like a radio voice. And I was kind of like, that's pretty cool. I could do something with radio, sports broadcasting. That would be awesome if I could do that. And I just that's what I was thinking about switching to. But when I weighed that over with my parents, my parents kind of weren't for it. And looking back now, I can understand, because there's not really many jobs that you can get with a communications major. It's just hard to find stuff, especially in my area. I'm in a very small part of South Carolina, so I would have to move very far away if I wanted to find a legit job with what I wanted to do. So being a communications major would not be the best fit for me. Come on. Did not switch my major last year. I decided to continue with the industrial engineering program just in case, I kind of grew onto it, or it grew onto me. And I, became more interested, because honestly, if you can get an engineering degree, any type of engineering degree, really, that's where the money's going to be at. Engineers make bank. It doesn't matter what type of engineer you are. You're going to make a decent amount of money, more than decent amount of money. It's just unreal. The problem with that is that I still didn't enjoy what I was doing. So I completed all of last year, completed all the classes and whatnot, and I'm still contemplating changing my major, but I have no idea what I want to change it to. So I start this year out, go through about a month or so of classes, and I finally realized, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm changing my major completely. I'm completely done with this. I talked to my parents about this, and they understood. And now that I kind of have my head on straight with what I really want to do, it makes more sense to go ahead and change my major, because it's going to take about the same amount of time as what it was going to take me to finish my engineering program here to do what I want to do now. But ultimately, what I've decided to do. A lot of you guys may have been around on my channel about, I'd say, back in March is when I had an injury. I tore my ACL playing some basketball, and recovery's going well. I'll make an update video about that here in the next week or so, because I can play a little bit more now. So as I was saying, I tore my ACL back in March, had surgery in May, and I've been going to therapy since about April. So about 6-7 months of therapy so far. And I've always been kind of into the fitness kind of a part of things. I'm a big sports guy. Love sports. Played a little bit of baseball. Still plan on playing some baseball. I'm going to be transferring schools here, and hopefully I can play baseball at the new school I'm going to. I have 3 years of eligibility left for college baseball, so it would be sweet to play baseball one more time before I graduate college, which I have about 2 more years of college. So would be awesome to be able to play one more time. You know what I mean? And so that's sort of what I'm aiming for right now, is when I transfer to try and play some baseball. I mean, if I can't, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but it's just a plus if I'll be able to play. But, therapy, been going to it, and, it just kind of, clicks with me, man. Like, I just enjoy, like, helping people out and, doing fitness stuff, working out and all of that, guys. So it's just kind of, that's like what I really want to do, and it kind of just came along in a weird way that I had to tear my ACL to figure out what exactly I wanted to do, which honestly is not the best way to figure out what you want to do, get injured, but it actually worked out for me because now I know what I really want to do. If I wouldn't have torn my ACL, I never would have gone to therapy, and I never would have really experienced what being a physical therapist is like. I've been around my physical therapist 2 or 3 times a week. I've gone for 7 months straight, and I kind of get what it's like. So just really anything in that type of field is something that I'm definitely interested in, and that's what I've decided to change my major to. The major itself is called kinesiology, which is basically exercise science, and there's a ton of stuff you can do with a kinesiology degree, and that's ultimately what I'm going to be doing. So right now, what's going on with me, I'm still in school at Francis Marion is where I go to school now. I'm not too worried about letting you guys know where I go to school at. I mean, some of you may actually go to school with me. Who knows? That'd be pretty sweet to meet some people. I have met somebody actually that has watched my videos before, which is pretty cool. I actually have a class with them right now, which is pretty cool. What I'm doing, I have to complete 60% of the semester, and then I'm going to withdraw from the university. And basically that means in about 2 weeks I'm going to be withdrawing from all my classes, and once that happens I'm going to be out of school for 2 months until January classes start, and then I'm going to be transferring to another school to do my spring classes, and then I'm transferring to the school that has my major. So in about 2 weeks I will be being able to play Xbox like every single day, make videos every single day, and I'm just gonna have a lot more time to focus on YouTube for 2 months pretty much, when I haven't been able to do that in the past because I've been in school. You guys see how it is when I'm in school. I've literally have no time to play. This is the first video I've even attempted to make in over 2 months, and that's just kind of how it is with school right now, just how busy it's been. And I know it's gonna be extremely busy, and what I'm doing, I don't enjoy it, so that's why I'm going to be changing my major, and I'll be able to do YouTube for a little bit once Advanced Warfare comes out, especially a lot more. I'm gonna hopefully set up a live stream. Definitely gonna be more involved with FaZe. I've been very, very inactive with FaZe. I did have a couple videos go up, but those videos, or the 2 videos I had go up in the past like month or so, the COD 3 montage and the episode by Gummy, I've had all of those clips since early July. So that's how long or how old those clips are. It's just taken that long to get them edited and finally get them up on FaZe. But it kind of helped me out in a way because I haven't been able to play or get any clips. So those came along at the right time, but I just don't have anything else unless I can knock something out here in the next 2 weeks before Advanced Warfare comes out. I probably won't have another video on FaZe until Advanced Warfare, but just know that I plan on having a ton of stuff out. I'm going to have a ton of free time. Going to start live streaming hopefully, and just all kinds of stuff is going to be happening with me. I know I say this all the time, but for real, I'm going to have 2 months off from school, and I'm going to be working a little bit at my aunt and uncle's restaurant, and I'm going to be playing and making videos pretty much every single day. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to that as well. But that is it for now, and I will talk to you guys later.